Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth session of Province webinars. Wishing everyone a happy National Sports Day. You all must be setting some goals, achieving your targets in academics, your personal, professional life, in your skating career. With your physical abilities, how much do you really concentrate on the mental ability? Experts today in all fields say that we have to really start concentrating on our mental makeup. So today we have on board with us the expert, sports and performance psychologist, Vardhini Gori ma'am, who is going to put light on our mind. I welcome you, ma'am. Vardhini ma'am has completed her master's in sports and exercise from Loughborough University, UK. She is the founder of Mind First Performance Psychology Consulting. She has worked with Indian rowing team in 2018 for Asian Games and was a consultant with Army Rowing Note Pune as well. She has given consultation, conducted workshops, various seminars for several reputed universities, schools, colleges, sports institutes. Her approach is based on REBT, that is Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, and mindfulness. These are really a very few briefings I have done of super talented Vardhini ma'am. So without wasting much time, let us hear from the speaker herself about importance of sports psychology. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for a very nice introduction. And I'm just going to start and help like the viewers here understand why is sports psychology important in skating and overall in every field of sports that we are in. First of all, happy National Sports Day to everyone. And I'm going to start sharing my presentation for today, and then whenever there are questions, I guess you can just put it in the comments, and we'll take the questions later on in the session. So yes, so first of all, happy National Sports Day, and keeping Major Dhyan Chand in our minds today, I'm going to take this further, that why is psychology of sport so important in any field of sport, be it for athletes, be it for parents, be it for coaches. I'm going to just start by understanding, when everyone speak about what success is, I just want you to think for a moment and help me understand from your perspective, what do you mean by success? If you want, I would like to know from your, you can put it on the comments also on Facebook, wherever you are live on. I want you to understand what is the meaning of success. So I just see what the comments are. What do you mean by success? What is the meaning of success for you? If you're a coach, if you're an athlete, if you're a student, if you are a parent, what do you find success as? So people can just put in their comments. It'll be nice to know from everyone, what do you mean by success? Because everyone has a different way of looking at success, right? So I want to understand from you, what is success? Can anyone answer on the comments? Yes, someone is saying achieving our goals. Okay. Being able to achieve all the goals that we have. Okay. Is achieving what you want. All right. Anyone else? I'll take two more. If anyone wants to answer, you can. But I guess achieving and goals are two common things what I'm seeing here. All right. What goals? Mostly when I ask this to athletes, they'll always answer, winning. I want to win this match. I want to do, I want to win this medal. I want to win this trophy. Okay. Because that is what is success, or what is a goal for most of the athletes. All right. So if I go to the next slide that I put, what is success for most is winning. Okay. Because if you lose, then you're not successful for many of them. Right. So what inevitably all this creates is a brief amount of pressure on every person, be it the athletes, be it the parents, be it the coaches, कि नहीं जीते तो फिर हम सक्सेसफुल नहीं है. बार बार हारे तो सक्सेस कम हो जाती है. तो इससे क्या होता है, प्रेशर बढ़ने लगता है, isn't it? We increase our pressure ourselves because we set such goals, we set such expectations from ourselves as athletes. So now here what is happening is we are training on one side for skating, we are training for some championships. Right now in this lockdown, we are training to get better physically, maybe mentally, some of them. But ultimately, what matters on that day of the competition is how much pressure you're putting on yourself. Okay, so what is not avoidable is this winning, losing, people talking about it, your coach's expectations, parents' expectations, as athletes, your own expectations. But what you can manage is your mental makeup. Okay, how you see pressure as. ठीक है, तो इतने दिन जब कंपटीशन आ रही रहती है तो फिर 1-2 महीने प्रेपरेशंस में लगे रहते हैं हम सब. तो ये सब प्रेपरेशंस जब हम फोकस में लाते हैं तो क्या क्या प्रेपरेशंस करते हैं, क्या क्या करते हैं. फिजिकल प्रेपरेशन, so you have your fitness trainers, you have strength and conditioning coaches who come and train you, or you go to some special personal trainers, you do your physical fitness. Then of course your technical practice, every morning waking up at a particular time, going for coaching, evening coaching, all this kind of makes up for your technical. Or tactical or strategic, you speak to your coach about how are you going to win, how are you going to make these things better, how are you going to better your skills in your competition. But somewhere I feel everyone misses the mental side of the game. Okay, means we don't train ourselves in those 2 months. Psychologically hum bhul jate hain ki, because pressure is something what eats up all your preparation at the end moment. Okay, just minor seconds का फर्क होता है winner और second person जो आए उसमें, and this person who gets the silver or the bronze feels very bad. Okay, ultimately why? Because it's just that minor difference. But what is that minor difference? Mostly it is the ability to handle the pressure. It's the ability to cope with that situation, which is that last minute. So does that come automatically to people? Is someone like Roger Federer or someone like, say, now since we were talking about, if you know the basketball player Kobe Bryant, he's been spoken about for the last 2-3 days because of his birthday. And his mentality or his mindset was such that he wanted to improve every day. But did these people get it by themselves? Is it like mental skills? Are they like, some gifted talent that people have? No, they all train themselves psychologically in order to get better at that last minute, or at those pressure situations that you skate. Even in the skating ring, I've seen that there are so many pressure situations that everyone go through, especially in that last minute, that last few seconds, which kind of makes a difference. It's all about that, right? But to cope up with it, you need to be mentally much more tougher, much more stronger, much more someone who can come back quickly. Even if there is a drop in performance, you need to have a mental comeback ability in order to even physically and technically come back. So hence, mental training along with these other parts of training is a very important pillar of success, which takes to build a skater, an athlete, any sport athlete. Okay, so that's my question. Do we train for mental fitness like we train for physical fitness? For physical fitness, we do contact so many coaches, so many fitness trainers, so many strength and conditioning coaches. But for mental fitness, most of us don't end up doing anything. Okay, कोच ने बोला था थोड़ा ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइज कर लेना, तो हम थोड़ा ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइज करते हैं मेंटल फिटनेस के लिए. बट इज दैट इनफ? Is it just about being relaxed or motivated at that right moment? No, but it's all about training your mind to get better at that really important moment in that in that competition where you need that mental toughness. Okay, where you need that push mentally, that no, I need to push myself. Okay, not giving up easily, not feeling कि नहीं होगा मुझसे, that attitude. And also after losing, for example, instance, it's everyone cannot win every time, that's like a given fact. But even after losing, how you cope up with that loss is also a part of your mental fitness. Okay, someone like Virat Kohli, or like the greats, all your Federers and everyone all over the world who are looked up to being like, idols, they also lose. But it's the amount or the time that they take to come back which is very, very crucial. Okay, they come back within a few minutes, they come back within like, that day, wherein they just analyze why they went wrong or where was that loss. Okay, so emotional coping is a very important part of mental training, and all these factors kind of come under the bracket of training yourself psychologically. Okay, so one, before I get into the demands and like understanding the demands of skating, I'm sure you all know. Okay, one important, very important aspect of sports psychology is it's not that you need to have a problem to go to a sports psychologist. ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं होना चाहिए, बट अगर आपको मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ डेवलप करनी हो या मेंटल टफनेस जिससे बोलते हैं उससे डेवलप करना हो, तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास भी जाना कोई मतलब कोई ऐसी बुरी बात नहीं है, या इट्स नॉट अ टैबू एनीमोर. You want to change your mindset, you need some help, beyond who you have, beyond parents, beyond coaches, because you need certain experts who know the psychology, who know the mindset, who know the brain, and maybe something. So we are not experts in sports per se, we are experts in the mindset of the sport. Okay, so I will not be able to tell you what your coach tells you. The coach has his own expertise and he cannot be replaced, but we are here to assist the coach, help the athlete, provide the right information or the right suggestion when it comes to developing a stronger mindset. That's what is a sports psychologist all about. All right, so before I head ahead, I just want you to maybe like list down what do you think are the common demands of skating. मतलब जब आप skating कर रहे हो practice में या competitions में, as a coach or as an athlete or as a skater, what do you think are the common demands? Like, what do you see that, okay, I'll give you an example, like it's speed. Okay, speed is something that, you always have to cope up with the timing. It's a common demand of skating. So what do you think are common demands of skating? So I'm just going to check your comments. Anyone wants to write down? What are the common demands that you feel are the demands of skating? मतलब क्या ऐसे लगता है कि किस चीज से प्रेशर डेवलप होता है, या किस चीज से आपको पता है ये सब परफॉर्मेंस एनहांसर्स है, या जैसे मैंने अभी कहा था कि टाइमिंग बहुत क्रूशियल है स्केटिंग में, या स्पीड बहुत क्रूशियल है, तो आपको एंड्योरेंस ट्रेनिंग में बहुत काम करना पड़ता है. तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली? सो समवन हैज रिटन स्पीड, someone has written flexibility. Okay, any more things, any more comments? Agility. Okay, timing, confidence. Okay, balancing, very, very interesting. Yes, definitely balancing. Okay, pain, I want to, I'll come back to it a little later. Pain is very, very crucial. Of course, especially injury, or your, if it is muscle pain, then it's something else. But I want to understand what do you mean by pain? Like, technique is another thing, definitely. Anyone else? Time, pace, and technique. Okay, technique, stamina, not giving up even if you're at the last position, most definitely. Okay, so I'm getting technique, time, pace, agility, stamina, willpower. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and just share the different types. Okay. Sorry. All right. So what, physical demands may I felt, from my little bit of experience with skaters, I felt a long duration. That means the duration, sometimes it is like, some people do the skating marathons, or there are some people who are into, long road skating. So that's the long duration, or even the shorter duration is, longer. You have to cope up with the time in the given duration. Gross motor skills, that means you use your whole body and it's not just a fine motor thing that you are using only your hand, you're using everything. So that is again a very big physical demand for skating, which is you need to develop your quads, you need to develop your upper body as well, your core as well, because the way that you move is very important for your posture to develop. Otherwise you get injury prone. So hence developing the right amount of gross motor skills in skating is very important. Your endurance, both aerobic and anaerobic, it's a combination sport, it's not just an aerobic sport. So hence developing both abilities, like your own lung capacity, your whole your whole anaerobic training also has to go high. So your strength needs to increase, your muscle strength has to be much more than maybe a regular sprinter or a runner. So your endurance, it's a combination sport, so you need to have both aerobic as well as anaerobic capacity. And you have a long and intense pre-competition preparation. मतलब जब competition आ रही होती रहती है तभी you need to prepare a lot for that, maybe like that 200 meters or that 500 meters, because that is what matters. But then for that you need to have like a good whole preparation for 3 months or 2 months so that you peak at the right time. So physical demands are so strong that it definitely affects your psychological demands. It definitely has a lot of impact on your mind. What impact could it have? Of course, your motivation has to be consistent, which kind of impacts your confidence as well. So agar motivation is not persistent, then your confidence also goes up and down, which is okay. But again, as I said earlier in the session, your confidence or like any mental ability has that ability, you have a capacity to it dropping, but your ability to get it back is what your mental strength is. So confidence drop hota hi hai match mein. ऐसा नहीं है कि there'll be the whole time you are like super confident and you finish it. It won't happen always. You will have a drop in motivation, you will have a drop in confidence, but your ability to come back is what your mental strength is. Again, when it comes to high motivation but also high intensity, because the sport is so intense, it has, as I said, both aerobic and anaerobic exertion होता है, इसी वजह से motivation भी high रखनी पड़ती है. So you need to know that motivation is not only about like pushing yourself, it's also maintaining your energy levels properly so that tomorrow you're recovered and back again in high confidence psychologically. Your ability to shift focus, so it's you'll have too many distractions while you're in the race, while you're competing, because you have so many skaters around you, you'll have so many people who are not cheering for you. So your ability to shift focus back into what you actually are doing also matters in skating. And lastly, very important, I feel, ability to control your emotions, which kind of come in the way of you and your performance many times. So you cannot be emotionless as an athlete. Okay, that's something what I tell every athlete, like ऐसा नहीं कि आप you will never get angry, you will never be like overexcited for something, but your ability to control that and not let it affect your performance is again a part of mental training. And lastly, ability to be in that moment. तो वही moment जो important है, you can't take a backlog or like a whole baggage of your past experiences and put it in that competition. That is not going to help you at all. कि last tournament में ये हुआ था, तो all those thoughts come in definitely, but you need to be in that moment because that moment is crucial. So that ability is also your mental training. You can't just get that ability gifted. It's not like that. You need to train your mind to be in the moment. All right. Moving on, these are common demands of skating. And I'm just going to add two more, like speed, everyone mentioned. And ultimately, all this kind of comes into mental endurance. That means what is your ability to sustain mentally without giving up? Okay. That ultimately is the crucial or like the crux of what mental training is all about. You need to be sustained, you need to be mentally sustainable so that you can physically complete the game or complete your competition. What other, like these are like common things what I observed in skaters, but then there are many more things what whenever I deal with athletes, These are the common demands that I feel are affecting everyone. So it's not only the sport. When you look at things beyond your training, like especially in these times, in these COVID times, wherein you are in a lockdown, you don't have that you don't have that much of training that's happening. Everything is mostly online. I think slowly steadily people are getting back into their game, but it's not a full-fledged thing. It's not what you used to do in January. It's not what you used to do in 2019. It's not related to what your goals were in 2019 for 2020. Okay, everything has changed. So hence your mindset also will change, and it has brought about a very big impact on how you look at your sport. Because I've had some athletes who come to me, and these are like proper people who have competed in the Olympics. So these people have that loss of motivation to go and train, because they said कि अभी तो नहीं है ना Olympics, next year है ना, वो भी अभी it's not still decided. So imagine an Olympian is thinking like that. They are slacking in their routine. What about others who have no schedule? There's no competition schedule out anyway. So abhi बहुत जरूरी है to understand how your mindset is working. Your mind is not helping you be an athlete anymore. If you are in this phase, like you're demotivated, you're saying कि ठीक है ना, when lockdown gets over, when everything starts properly, I'll retrain. Okay, imagine your body at that time. You're not done anything. You're just doing small exercises, and then coming back to a full-fledged routine is going to be difficult. Hence maintaining a routine is important. So what are the crucial demands, psychological demands, is these. Okay, I'll just explain each of these points. Low motivation, poor motivation is like one of the most commonly seen, not in the lockdown, even apart from lockdown. I've seen low motivation affects everyone. Okay, so as I said, the ability to come back after having this period of अरे आज नहीं उठना है 5 o'clock को यार, it's okay, like one day if I sleep it's fine, tomorrow I'll go and complete my fitness routine, today I'll take a break. Okay, no, I don't think athletes need to have that kind of a mindset ever. It could just be once, maybe in 2-3 months, that you slack. Okay, that's like this cheat day thing has become it's a fad amongst especially teenage or like adolescent athletes. I've seen ki ha, once in a week I can have a cheat day. Okay, but no, your motivation or your poor commitment, it reflects also on your commitment, which is my second point. The discipline, it's a combination. Like if you are low, if you are poor in motivation, your commitment also kind of goes for a toss. Okay, so the cheat day thing can definitely, I mean, athletes are allowed to have cheat days, but not once in 3-4 days. Okay, that's not how an athlete's lifestyle looks like, especially if you're preparing for a competition. Also, if you're not, if you want to maintain a disciplined life, even in this lockdown, you need to have a good amount of commitment. For that, you need to be motivated internally that, okay, even after this lockdown, I should not have any difficulty coping with my body, because body won't just immediately adjust back to normal. Okay, that's why you need to have a good fitness regime, a good nutrition plan, and also psychologically you need to be fit in this way. Okay. Thirdly, loss of focus. Of course, these challenging times have definitely impacted the focus the most as well. People are lacking in focus. They are very distracted. Watching, as I said, like lack of discipline again is a combination of both motivation as well as focus. Okay, people have skewed goals. They don't have steady goals. Okay, which is okay. Okay, but the way you cope up with it also matters. So hence, regaining or realigning yourself to a good focus, to a good goal, is something what as athletes we need to do. So hence, loss of focus is a common demand, but also a way of coping with that is something what we have to train our minds to do. Lack of emotional control, something what I mentioned earlier also, like again a common reason for match losses. Okay, you lose focus because of lack of emotional control. You get upset, it upsets your performance. Your focus is then shifted to from the performance to your emotion. तो अगर बहुत गुस्सा हुआ कि कुछ कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया, like suppose referee gives something wrong and you get distracted and then you just stop, you don't go ahead. Okay, it has happened. I've had one skater who told me her experience on this, that she's like, no, that moment I just froze. I couldn't even move my legs. Okay, why? Because there was something, maybe there is someone in the audience who screamed something bad at her and her team, which kind of upset her, and then that's it. She's like, then I lost the whole confidence to go ahead. I lost my focus, and she lost her first position as well, because she was actually leading. Okay, so lack of emotional control is the ability to control yourself even in these crucial times, even in these situations wherein things are against you. Okay, which kind of accompanies the next point, which is stress and anxiety. If stress and anxiety levels are high, then automatically your ability to cope up with the situation goes down. So hence, coping with your stress and anxiety levels before even pre-competition stress and all is a very important element of sports psychology training. Also, low confidence, of course, it all comes kind of in a package deal. Like if you lack focus, if you lack emotional control, you also drop down on confidence. Like I spoke about the skater, she told me that when she heard something against her, she lost focus, so she got distracted, increase in anger. Okay, she got upset, and then later on when she felt that she couldn't focus or like refocus, she lost her confidence as well. Okay, so all these things are kind of interconnected. Then we come to the second part of demands, which is kind of secondary to performance, but all these things also are a crucial element that impact your performance. Peer, coaches, and parental pressure. Again, this is like existing everywhere. Okay, there are some coaches who are really supportive. I've worked with some coaches who are super supportive. They understand every element of the game, of the situation, and then react. So even coaches need some form of emotional as well as psychological training as to how to react to situations. Okay, because I've had examples of players leaving the sport because the coaches were continuously, maybe because of continuous losses, the coaches went against the player, and then that kind of dropped his confidence and he got out of the sport. Parental pressure is double because the parents see the players or their children every day, and especially if they are over involved in the sport, and especially if they have a lot of opinions about the sport, about their game, about the player's game, it gets difficult for the player. Okay, so it kind of, instead of encouragement, there is pressure, a lot of pressure. Slight amount of pressure is awesome, like that's required. You need that from the coaches as well as the parents. You need that push. Okay, but if it crosses that line and it becomes overbearing, then even the players are like, bhai nahi khelna mujhe, I don't want to play. All right, so that element should not be existing. I'll talk a little more about it after this slide when I talk about parental role and coach's role, as from the psychological side of the game. But yeah, that's one of the most important demands of any sport. Mood swings kind of accompany with what I just spoke about, emotional control, but this is something that impacts your game directly. All right, so you have mood swings. Yeah, everyone has mood swings, but you can also manage it. All right, you have that ability to control your mind. Okay, your mind is like a monkey, and you are the trainer. All right, so you need to train your mind to act well when you actually need to go and perform. Okay, so that's what is sports psychology all about. Body image problems. I'm especially getting it in skating, because for girls, I've seen this. I'll talk a little bit in depth, because when I deal with sports like gymnastics, swimming, skating, you wear bodysuits. Okay, girls at a certain age definitely have a body image issue, wherein you start putting on weight. Sometimes you have hormonal changes, and then there is a drop in sport. Okay, these are girls who will just drop out of the sport because of the body image problems. They cannot see themselves wearing those suits. Okay, because it's a very common thing. Same thing goes with the boys. You have seen it in swimming as well, wherein you have to look a particular way when you're a swimmer. You have to have a particular body when you're a swimmer. Okay, if you don't, then you don't feel competent enough to be in that sport. Okay, I've had a couple of swimmers who were going through a lot of body image problems. So that's again something which is very psychological in nature, even though it is related to your body. Okay. Next, again, related to communication, this could be a part of the peer coaches, parental pressure thing as well, because poor communication definitely leads to a lot of pressure building from the coach's side or from the parent side. So that's something also what we work on. Lack of cohesion, not necessarily in team sports, but also even in individual sports. What is cohesion? Is your ability to stick through your team even if you're going through a difficult time. All right, like I said, mental toughness doesn't mean you win every time. You lose as well. Okay, mental ability to cope with the situation better doesn't mean that you always win. Okay, it also means while you're losing, your ability to stick together is something what is challenged. So lack of cohesion is that. Okay, so your ability to stick together as a team is the most tested when you are in a tough or in a crucial or a difficult time. So developing that cohesion helps. So that is something what also we work on as psychologists. Injury related trauma, or more than trauma, it could be stress and anxiety which comes with which accompanies with an injury. So I personally worked very closely with a physiotherapist when I was with the rowing team, and we literally had like so many cases who used to get injured. So many players used to get injured, and what I and the physio decided is we work together. Whenever a person comes in for rehab, I also have a session with the player, because he or she is going through some trauma as well at that point, that ठीक है injure हुए हैं, we have no practice going on at the moment, तो क्या करें? You have to maintain a psychological balance at that moment as well. So hence injury related stress, trauma or anxiety is also we need to understand that element as well. And last three parts, again, poor sleep or resting patterns is a very huge impact, has a very huge impact on your performance. Personally, I've just been going and doing a course on sleep training as well, because sleeping has been a challenge for many athletes I've worked with. They cannot get proper sleep in the night, especially if they are over fatigued. So if you overtrain yourself, it impacts your sleep pattern, like your rhythm of your sleep. Your biological clock says that you're active throughout the day. So if you overtrain, your body and mind is super active, even though it's actually tired. Okay, so you don't have the ability to put yourself to sleep. Okay. Secondly, mobiles screen time has increased so much that is affecting your resting. So even if you have a rest day, people are stuck to their phones. All right. Now, when I deal with some of the players, I strictly say like a no phone day policy. Okay, because it is very important, especially for teenagers, to understand that it has a big impact on your mind resting. Okay, mentally also you need to rest. It's not just physical recovery. Okay, we can have other ways in which you can rest. You can sleep, you can maybe watch distant television for some time, but this mobile phone, which kind of hampers your eye and your mind rest patterns, it has a very huge impact on your mental training and your ability to remain calm in situations and so on. Okay, so that's something also what we work with. Inability to bounce back quickly. Again, like this is a overall pattern what we see with players, that if you are poor in focus, confidence, concentration, and so on, then your ability to bounce back also goes down. So we have a holistic training wherein we train on all these elements in psychology, and then ultimately it impacts on your way of coping with the situation. And lastly, career termination. Matlab, agar because of injury or even voluntarily if you retire, there are huge challenges associated with it psychologically, because some of them don't know what to do after they have retired. So we also help players, go through that career termination or transitions. So some of them maybe end up becoming coaches, or like they go and do something else. But that transition and termination is very important to handle very well from the psychology side. Okay, so these are the common demands that we go through. Now I'll specifically mention certain performance issues. Okay, sorry. We have like a pre-season stage. I've just divided this into different areas so that you understand each area better. Until now, we just saw the demands like an overall picture. Now I'll give you specific demands out of specific seasons. Okay, we have pre-season, we have on-season, and you have off-season. Okay, so we started pre-season. Pre-season mein you have lack of motivation, you have lack of clear goals, boredom because you don't know when, especially now in this situation, I'm sure you are going through all this. Many of them are going through all this. Okay, and lack of commitment. As I said, like if you lack motivation, you lack commitment for sure. And if it's accompanied with boredom, then 100%. Okay. Now on season, you are in season mein kya hota hai? What are the common demands? You have fear of failure. Okay, people fail to fear. I'm going to make a point on this here. There is one cricketer who just I just read some weeks ago a quote by a cricketer who said that if you fear to get out, okay, then what are you playing for? You shouldn't be fear because everyone gets out. ऐसा नहीं कि कोई out नहीं रहा है. Okay, everyone loses. That's what I've been trying to say. Everyone loses. But if you go with the idea that I don't want to lose today, it's in your mind already. You don't know what you actually want to do. Okay, so avoidance strategies never work. So hence fear of failure is something what you need to get over in a patterned way. Fear rahega, but then what you need to focus on at that moment is not the failure. You need to focus on the goals. So hence, okay, I'll come back to it later, but fear of failure is a common problem across athletes, which comes from somewhere performance anxiety. Ki, I can't do this. You get pre-competition jitters. You feel like scared before the competition. Poor decision making, emotional outburst, just maybe before a match or in the match. Okay, and post season may be somewhat similar. Injury, fear of re-injury. You burn out sometimes. Burnout is like mentally and physically you're fatigued, and lack of concentration, lack of clear goals. Again, you come back to the pre-season part. Okay, so now with all these demands in place, what techniques we use so that you overcome what I mentioned earlier, like specific demands, pre-seasons, during season and off-season demands. What techniques we use? Okay, I'm just going to highlight one thing, not go in a lot of depth because we don't have that much time. We focus on positive thinking. I don't like the term positive thinking. I'll tell you why. Because we when we speak about positive thinking, people just say one thing: oh, you can do this, come on, let's do this, we'll go and get the goal. But what? I mean, people just talk about things positively. It's not only about that. You need to set super fluid and super you can say yeah, I mean, you need to set certain goals and act towards it. That is what positive thinking is all about. Okay, if suppose I have a goal in mind, but it's a goal to reach the Olympics. Okay, that's a dream. But my goal today should be, okay, today I need to do XYZ things, and you have the thought process which is aligned to those goals. That is what positive thinking is all about. Okay, so you have the goals, and your ability or your thoughts to achieve that goal is something which will prompt you to take that action. Okay, so positive thinking along with action makes sense. Only positive thinking won't yield anything. Along with that, you need to have a ability to visualize. There are some players who come to me who say that I can't visualize. Okay, it's okay. You need to train yourself to visualize. Okay, it's not just about closing your eyes and daydreaming. You need to visualize certain things which are going to help you in the match. Okay, that is visualization. Self-talk kind of accompanied with that positive thinking, what I just told you about. Okay, it's not about saying that I can do this, I'm going to go and beat this player. No, it's all about your goals. Okay, my self-talk should be related to what I can do at that moment. Okay, if I can't overtake this person right now, okay, I need to try to. For that, what I need to do is maybe push myself a little more. That is my self-talk. That's what my self-talk should be. Setting goals, again, it's an accompaniment of the self-talk and positive thinking, what I was just talking about. You need to set goals which are action-oriented, related to the action that you're going to take. Okay? Again, emotional control, controlling your emotions by controlling or like managing your thoughts well is how you can have an emotional control. And also through your relaxation methods. That's what we use for all the athletes, whatever sport it is. You have a high endurance sport, it's okay. You need to learn to relax. So we use relaxation techniques to help them manage their energies better. So these are common mental training techniques that we use as sports psychologists in order to help the athletes become better psychologically, have a better control over their mind when it comes to crucial stages. Okay. As I said, if you have any questions, just put it down. I'll take it later. We're coming to the last part of my presentation before I end it. I want to just focus on this diagram for some time, because I feel like, as an athlete, coach is the head. Okay, that's why I've just mentioned him on top. And we are kind of a part of the coach's team so that we can help the athlete become better. Okay, coach is kind of everything to the athlete. Okay, the amount of trust a coach and athlete have within each other, the best of the coach and athlete relationships I've seen have a good amount of rapport and trust. Okay, utna others may not be able to, but we have to put in our best. Okay, but the coach is the head here, the boss here, and these are the people who are going to help the athlete become better. I forgot to add one more here, which is a nutritionist. I think very important element of developing a better athlete. And here today I'm going to focus on two elements here, which is one is a coach and one is a parent, because a coach parent athlete triad is very, very crucial. If that triad is like, hits off very well, they're very successful together, have a good communication, have good rapport within the three parties, then we are set. We have a marriage here. We have a good marriage. Okay? Very important for the coaches and the parents to be on the same page so that the athlete doesn't feel like, what am I doing? Because sometimes coaches have different goals, parents have something else, and the athlete is like, I don't know what to do. Okay? So hence, especially for young athletes, the coaches and the parents need to be on the same page. For this, I have only one very important tip. Coach should not be the parent should not be the coach. I'm not saying like a person. Like, I know there are many parents who are coaching their athlete. That's a different dynamic. But I'm saying the coaches should not parent the child, and the parents should not coach the child. Parents should not give technical advice. They should not give physical training advice. That's not your job. Your job is to support the athlete in this triad. The coach should not parent the athlete. That means not interfere in personal problems. That's not your job. Okay? This is how you might try and maintain a better decorum, because I've seen people, just drifting apart because of interferences. All right. So hence, some academies that do not allow parents inside their academy is a very good policy, I feel. Okay. So hence, parenting should be at its place, coaching should be at its place, and then things can be managed better. What more? I feel I'm going to take up one technique for youth sport coaches, because I feel this is a very crucial thing when it comes to encouraging. Okay? Encouraging is one thing, but then I've seen some coaches like just blasting small kids, like who have just started training in the sports. It's okay to an extent. They need to be reprimanded. They need to be told where they have gone wrong, but in a way. Okay? So we have this sandwich feedback technique. I'm sure many of you all have heard about it, wherein you start with a praise, then get in your criticism in between, and end with a praise. Okay? So again, coaches should manage their emotions better when they want to shout at someone, the player. So this is how you need to train yourself. When you say that, the player has made a mistake, you say that, ye acha kiya tha, magar, these points I want you to keep in mind. That is your criticism. And then end by saying that you can do this. Next match, करके दिखाना. ठीक है? इससे क्या होगा कि you have the athlete's attention when you're praising. Then the athlete is attentive to your criticism, which is much more in a constructive way. You're not shouting or blasting at the athlete. And then again, you end it with a praise, because the athlete should have that confidence to achieve what you're giving them. For example, if they missed out on say a push towards the end of the race, you knew that this player has that ability to make that mistake, but you can also tell them ki, like see, throughout the race you are good, but that last moment na ye sab hua, xyz hua. And then again end it with a praise saying that kal ke practice mein I'll make you do this and you will do it. So they also get the confidence of doing that thing what they are not able to do. Okay? That is called a sandwich feedback technique, one of the very good ways in which coaches can manage effective communication. Okay, I'm going to go to like the next part again. As I said, those three people are important: athlete, parent, and coach. How to be a great sport parent? It's very difficult to be a great sport parent. Everyone cannot be great parent itself. Like you have to maneuver, you have to manipulate certain things, your own behaviors. But like I said, you should be a parent, you shouldn't be a coach. So these are small things what you could do as a parent. One is, don't shout. That's I've seen matches wherein the players have lost and come out, and the parents are yelling at the player. That's not a way to help them, to be honest. It's not going to affect after a point, like when the player grows up to be maybe a better athlete, and they just ignore and walk away. I've seen that as well. So don't yell at the players right after the match. They are not in a mindset to listen to what you're saying at that moment. Remain a spectator in the competition. Okay, push your child, of course, motivate them, but remain a spectator. You're a fan there. You're not someone who's going to throw like a boot to your, or like throw. I've seen in tennis matches I've seen kids throwing rackets at parents because they're yelling so much from the sidelines that they can't take it anymore. Okay, so remain a spectator. Don't be a parent when you're seeing matches. Don't interfere with the coach. As I said, parents should be parents, coaches should be coaches. Keep your composure, especially in a match. Control your emotions. Let the referees do their job. Let the officials do their job. You don't have to go and interfere there. Also, never instruct players in the game. You don't have to instruct, like I said. Don't argue with the opponent, parents, or with the players. And be a good role model, because that's what your child is going to see you as. Okay, so just imagine that you're in an area wherein the child is just becoming a teenager or just going to be an adult from a teenager. You're still a role model to them. So be a good role model. Ultimately, that's what's going to help. Okay? So these are two things what I wanted to tell the coaches and the parents. Before I end, I just want to do this case study with a skater. I had a skater where I was working in 2017-18. So main problem areas or main demands were these. Pre-event anxiety thi usko. She used to get scared of certain people who she used to compete with. So she had a lot of anxiety pre-events. Pre-practice muscle pains and also pre-event muscle pains. If I'm not wrong, I remember correctly, she also had muscle pains before her practice, and kind of it affected her sleep pattern as well. She had less sleep. Okay, so there was a lot of fatigue set in, overtraining also, because she was very dedicated. All that was not a problem. High in motivation, very well dedicated. But then it kind of affected her these areas. So these were her common demands. But she also had a goal to reduce her time. She had a time slot that she wanted to reduce within 1.5 months because she had a important tournament to attend. Okay, so ये सब था उसका main demands. Now what we did was, I thought of telling her it's an Olympic mindset plan. That means you need to think like an Olympian. You need to think like a champion. So what you need to do is these things. My goals for her were these: reduce overall somatic anxiety. Somatic anxiety matlab when you have anxiety, when you feel anxious about certain things, when you worry, it affects your muscles, it affects your physiology. You may have common examples like increased heart rate, increased breathing rate, but it also affects your muscles. You don't feel at ease of moving because you're anxious. you feel, there is some anxiety that's creeping in your muscles, so you can't move your legs or hands properly. So reduce overall somatic anxiety, and I did it. I'll tell you how we worked on that. We reduce overall cognitive anxiety because there was higher amount of anxiety overall that it affected her body as well. Okay? And lastly, goal setting. So I felt her goal was not realistic, that the time that she was giving to reduce in that 1.5 minutes was 1.5 months was not at all realistic. So we thought of working on her setting goals, make it much more realistic with the help of coach and so on. Now what we thought of doing is like the first 2 weeks before 1.5 months, so just try and maneuver into her goals. First two weeks I focused more on relaxation exercises, daily relaxation, which was much more related to belly breathing, matlab regulating her breathing, deep breathing exercises and so on, and setting process goals, not outcome goals, not result oriented goals, but daily goals कि आज क्या करना है हम, how we are going to manage your time for this week and so on. So that is going to help her focus more on her process of working through the day, not the outcome. Next 2 weeks, week 3 and 4, that is daily relaxation continued, but I also focused on her body relaxation. So there is something called as progressive muscle relaxation that we use, that is focusing more on releasing stress from the muscles. And lastly, I also focused on writing diary, which will help her thinking process. Again, focusing on the daily goals rather than the outcome goal, which is her timing. And week 5 and 6, which was her 1 week before her main event, again we continued with daily relaxation exercises, but I also included a pre-workout breathing, which would help her in a pre-match breathing as well, that will help her relax and reduce her competitive anxiety which she was going through. And lastly, again, focus back on your process goals, because that is important even now. Okay, even if you know your outcome, you know what you're going to do, but the process goal is also important. So this was my plan for her, and ultimately what happened was this. She got pre-race jitters. She was jittery before the match, before the event, but she felt good. She was not very anxious about it. She felt good about it. She was in good spirits as well. It reduced her daily stress, what she was taking for her match time to reduce, for her event time to reduce, and also overall impact on her life, because this was stressing her out a lot. And lastly, she did reduce her race timing into the championships that she was aiming to. Though it was a much more realistic goal that I set for her. It was not a goal that what she planned. It was a little reduced goal. So she kind of clocked somewhere around that as she worked through those weeks. So this was an overall impact. Like I said, it's a combination of all mental, physical, and technical things that you come together and gives you the goal that you actually want to. But the psychological thing, like I said, the training is compromised. So you need to train yourself in order to achieve the goal that you want to. And that's what I wanted to tell you through this case study. I'm going to end my presentation here, but before that is just this. If you focus on your success, you'll have stress. But if you pursue excellence, definitely success will be guaranteed. And you will need to, focus more on your developing an excellence in what you do. Before I end, this is my team. Like, I work with these people, my team of psychologists. Very fortunate to collaborate with Mugha Vavre. She's a sports psychologist associated in Mumbai Cricket Association. And we have our 2 consulting junior psychologists, Shruti and Dvija, who are based in Mumbai itself. So we have a team in Mumbai too. And we have some upcoming seminars that we are conducting as a team. And we'll also be collaborating with some nutritionists and physiotherapists. So if you need more details about the workshop and the seminars, don't hesitate to contact. My details are here. All right. I'm just going to leave the screen like that. And I'm open for questions. Thank you so much. Okay, any questions? Okay, there is someone who said, I fall prey to groupism. I feel that they always sideline me or never involve me in their plans. And I feel very sad. Okay. All right. Is they, as in your peers, means who you train with, or the coaches, or who you're talking about? Can you be a little specific? Because yes, I mean this is like a common thing. Like groupism is a very common issue overall. I think in sports, and especially when you're at a teenage or when you're an adolescent, it definitely impacts you because you crave for social support. So what I want you to focus more on is your goal for being in that sport. So if you're a skater, what is your goal for going and training? Is it to make friends, or is it to train? Okay, friends and peers. I understand. It's pretty okay. Like I can totally understand. You feel like crying. You sometimes, if you feel it's getting too much, I think it's good to seek a help of a psychologist. It will be good to understand if you need to have some help there. But if you still feel that you can control it by yourself, then I would like to say just one thing: focus on your goals of the practice. Okay, if you feel sidelined, if you feel like it's okay, because this is how the teenage phase goes through. Or if you're a teenager, that's what I feel. But I think just focus on your goals, focus on why you are going there for training, and that kind of will help you. But if it still doesn't, don't hesitate to contact. How not to lose sight of goals under pressure? Yes, pressure and performance overlap. Okay, so pressure may you will definitely lose sight of goals. Now this is where your training to focus comes in, where you need to focus on, because pressure is a distraction. So your ability to train yourself to have that realistic good goal in front of you through your practice as well as your competition is something where your mental training will come into play. So while doing your meditation or visualization, focus on your goals. Don't focus on the distraction. You should know your distractions very well. You should know what distracts you. Okay, so be it's like if someone is going to war, you should definitely know who your opponent is and what war weapon that they're going to use. Okay, but you need to sharpen your weapons. Okay, sharpen strength, focus on your strengths, focus on something what your weapons are, and your goals will be in sight. But if you focus on what the opponents are doing a lot and sharpen their weapons, then your weapons are going to remain blunt. So focus on your strengths, focus on what you are aiming there to achieve. Any other questions? Okay. All right. I think there are no more questions. But if there is any more questions, I guess you can just write into me, email me. I think that's the best way to go about it, because I can then reply you at my time. That's my email address there, vardhini@mindfirstperform.com. If anyone needs any psychological help from the sports psychologist perspective, I guess you can definitely contact me on the same. After a lot of practice, how to be confident before the game. I think I just mentioned that in my presentation as well. You need to focus on your strengths. That is very important just before the game, because that's what, again, like I said, those are your weapons. Those are something what you are going to use in the game. So you need to focus on your weapons, your own strengths. That will help you become much more confident before the game. And along with that, even during your practice, you should be aware of your strengths, which will help you develop that confidence towards your match or towards your event. Right? So thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session. Please feel free to, as I said, contact and attend some of our webinars which we are going to have also, because that is also for athletes and parents. So feel free to contact. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. That was a wonderful session, Vardhini ma'am. I mean, really a great in-depth insight on all the aspects of mental makeup, right from
Thank
meaning
you.
of success, like the pillars which build us, whether it is tactical, technical, physical, the mental pressure, and the rightly, as you said, the ability to cope up at the last minute situation. And
Yeah.
for all this, I mean, that's a total process. Then only we are not able to, we are able to sustain at the last minute.
Yeah.
And yes, positive action, positive thinking with action. That was really perfect and really a wonderful session. I hope parents, skaters, coaches, everyone will be of great benefit with this session. And just over to Praveen sir for a few words.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Madam Vardhini
Good
Madam.
evening.
Yeah, thanks a lot once again from my side also, from Province Skating
Thank
Academy.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks from our side and for sharing psychology into so much into detail actually. Micro detailing जो normally miss हो जाता है. स्केटर लोग साइकोलॉजी का इंपॉर्टेंस इतना या स्पोर्ट्समैन नहीं जानते होंगे और उसमें आपने ओलंपिक माइंडसेट के हिसाब से बताया मेंटल प्रिपरेशन मेंटल टेक्निक्स कैसे यूज करनी है इतना डिटेल में सारा शेयर किया है मुझे मेरा भी स्पोर्ट्स टाइम याद आ रहा है एंड ऑलवेज आई से टेल टू माय स्टूडेंट्स कि ऑलवेज यू शुड थिंक लाइक अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियन और ओलंपियन ओनली वही साइड चाहिए आप उस लेवल पे हो सीरियस शेड्यूल है असेसमेंट हुआ है आपका ट्रैक हुआ है maybe you may not be national champion at this moment but maybe your path may be like a olympic का path आपने रखना चाहिए so काफी सारे टॉपिक्स आवर फॉर्मेशन हम लोग जिस तरीके से कोशिश करते हैं बट बहुत डिटेल में और एक्सटेंडेड हम कोच तो एक लिमिट तक जाएगा then we need expert like you to take over and contribute to sportsmen and that will help in their results because mental preparation थोड़ा weak रहता है जो आपने बोला neglected zone है क्योंकि फिजिकल मेरा कल परसों भी बाकी इसमें वेबिनार में बात करते समय जनरली होता है कि सब लोग फिजिकल मेहनत पे जोर ज्यादा डालते हैं और मेंटल प्रिपरेशन ये निग्लेक्टेड जोन है इसका इंपॉर्टेंस अवेयरनेस अभी तक इंडिया में उतना लेवल तक नहीं है बट दोज हु आर चूजिंग दिस स्पोर्ट एज अ सीरियस करियर एज अ सीरियस स्पोर्ट्स तो उनको एक स्टेप आगे जाके स्पोर्ट्स साइकोलॉजी और सब ध्यान देना जरूरी है आप निग्लेक्ट करके बाईपास करके सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाएंगे बिकॉज हर एक का कुछ ना कुछ लिमिटेशन आता ही है स्पोर्ट्समैन का चाहे वो मूड स्विंग्स का बताया आपने चाहे बॉडी के लिमिटेशंस इमेज के हिसाब से भी जो आता है प्रॉब्लम मतलब कौन कौन सा जोन है जिसकी वजह से कॉम्प्लिकेशंस प्रॉब्लम चैलेंजेस एथलीट्स को हो सकते हैं साइकोलॉजिकल एट अ टाइम ऑफ कॉम्पिटिशन फिर पॉलिटिक्स भी रहता है उसको हैंडल कैसे करना एट अ टाइम ऑफ चैंपियनशिप सो ये सारा आपके आपसे जितना भी इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है होप सो हमारे स्केटर्स आई थिंक Am I audible? ठीक है मैं आपका पॉज दिख रहा है वर्धनी मैडम का शायद ओके या सो ऑफ स्क्रीन हो गए थे मैडम आप शायद कोई बात नहीं
आई थिंक कुछ नेटवर्क का इशू रहेगा
राइट फाइन सो होप सो आवर स्केटर्स पेरेंट्स सब लोग इस चीज का इम्पोर्टेंस समझेंगे हम लोग ऑलवेज बोलते हैं कि स्केटर पेरेंट एंड स्टूडेंट ये ट्रायंगुलर रिलेशनशिप उसके साथ आपने एक्सटेंडेड जो चीज बताई है साइकोलॉजिस्ट और फिजियो और न्यूट्रिशन भी एक जोन हमारा छोटा माइक्रो एक जोन और रहेगा सो ये सारे कंपोनेंट जो है कोच हेड है उसके साथ में उसकी जो टीम ये है हम लोगों ने भी वेबिनार्स वो सारे डिवीजन इस बार रखने की कोशिश इसलिए किया क्योंकि पता था इसका इम्पोर्टेंस है, एंड आप लोगों ने भी सबने एक्सेप्ट किया हमारा इन्विटेशन और आके पूरा एट वॉट एवर जो पॉसिबल बेस्ट है 1 घंटे के अंदर आपने मैक्सिमम इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर किया है. सो
Yes, yes.
दैट्स मच इम्पोर्टेंट. तो अवेयरनेस की वजह से लोग शायद हो सकता है थोड़ा सीरियसली लेंगे और अपने गोल्स सही तरीके से अचीव करेंगे. ये तो बहुत
Yes.
लिंगरिंग होता है गोल्स,
Correct.
बच्चे अचीव करने में 2-2 5-5 साल हो जाता है, फिर फैटिगनेस भी आता है, ये हो ही नहीं रहा है, फेल्यूर, और वो अल्टीमेटली दे लीव अप द स्पोर्ट, मतलब छोड़ देते
Correct.
हैं स्केटिंग पेरेंट. सो हो सकता है आपके इस इंफॉर्मेशन के बाद थोड़ा सीरियसली सोचेंगे. पेरेंट्स का ट्रेनिंग मैं हमेशा सोचता हूँ कि पेरेंट्स ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम रहना चाहिए या एक इंस्टीट्यूट उनके लिए नहीं होती है कि हाउ टू बिकम चैंपियंस पेरेंट, चैंपियंस पेरेंट. वो मुझे हमेशा लैकिंग एक लगता है. नॉट टारगेटिंग एग्जैक्टली टू पेरेंट, बट स्केटर ट्रेनिंग के लिए तो बहुत कुछ है. हम सब उन पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप
Correct.
जैसे एक्सपर्ट साइकोलॉजिस्ट है, चाहे डाइटिशियन है, चाहे मतलब न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट है, स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन
Correct.
डॉक्टर है,
Correct.
जैसे सभी का फोकस स्केटर के ऊपर है. लेकिन पेरेंट को चैंपियन पेरेंट बनाने के लिए कोई सिस्टम नहीं है. दे हैव टू टेक देयर ओन एक्सपीरियंस, और उनके
Correct.
एक्सपीरियंस में जनरेशन पूरा टाइम निकल जाता है और
Right.
वो लूज रह जाता है. तो नेचुरली वी कैन हेल्प देम कोचेस अपने
Yes.
जोन से. आपने भी आपके इसमें काफी कवर किया है, पेरेंट जोन के लिए तो पर्टिकुलरली बहुत अच्छे से कवर
Yes.
किया है. सो एनीवे, होप सो ऑल विल
All right.
अचीव देयर गोल्स. सबको ऑल द बेस्ट. और आज का
All the
दिन
best,
अच्छा,
everyone. Yeah.
आज नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स डे वाला डे भी अच्छा था. सो
Correct.
होप
Yes.
इफ
Okay.
किसी को भी कुछ नीड है तो यू कैन कांटेक्ट मैडम फॉर कंसल्टेशन. शी हैड ऑलरेडी टोल्ड कि आप मेल करो या जो भी है. ओके.
Yes. Anytime.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks a lot, parents, coaches, and skaters, and Madam
Thank you so
Vardhan.
much.
Thanks
Thank
once
you.
again. Okay, then
Thank
see
you.
you.
All right. Bye.
Sorry. Before yeah, log out. I just want to share regarding the contest. We'll share the uh, contest about plyometrics and calisthenics. Actually, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Starting this, yeah. We can start this contest from today. Skaters, parents, you can सी गो इनटू डिटेल क्या क्या है, समझ लीजिए कॉन्टेस्ट को. 5 बेस्ट प्लेसिंग हम लोग देने वाले हैं. आप प्लेसिंग अंडर 10, 10 to 15, अबव 15 में. और प्लायोमेट्रिक्स आपको करना है, कैलिस्थेनिक्स करना है, शूट करके भेजना है. 45 में सेकंड्स मैक्सिमम ड्यूरेशन है. और आप मेरे नंबर पे आज रात से 3rd आफ्टरनून तक के आप भेजेंगे तो हम लोग बेस्ट 5 प्लेसिंग को जो भी प्राइज देंगे, चाहे सेशंस देंगे या ऑनलाइन सेशंस और कैंप में सेशंस, ये कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री देंगे. फर्स्ट 5 प्लेसेस बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स टुगेदर अंडर 10, 10 to 15, अबव 15. और सभी जो रेगुलरली मैक्सिमम अटेंड कर रहे हैं वेबिनार्स, उनको एप्रिसिएशन का सर्टिफिकेट नहीं बोलेंगे एग्जैक्टली, बट एप्रिसिएशन का हम लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्रमाण देंगे जरूर सबको. सो होप सो सभी लोग मैक्सिमम वेबिनार्स अटेंड करके उसका बेनिफिट उठाएंगे इंफॉर्मेशन का और अपने लाइफ में यूज करेंगे. ये जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन रहेगी रिगार्डिंग कॉन्टेस्ट, और कॉन्टेस्ट का भी मैं आपको शेयर करता रहूंगा व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में भी, और प्रोविंस वेबिनार्स में भी शेयर करता रहूंगा. डिटेल्स है, आपकी क्वेरीज कुछ होंगे तो आप मेरे को पर्सनली भी पूछ सकते हो. और थोड़ी इन्फॉर्मेशन हम लोग प्रोविंस वेबिनार्स व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे भी शेयर करेंगे. ओके. और एप्रिसिएशन का भी लास्ट डे हम लोग 5th को बता के सब लोगों को जो मैक्सिमम अटेंड कर रहे हैं वेबिनार्स उनको शेयर करेंगे. ओके. थैंक्स अ लॉट. सी यू नेक्स्ट वेबिनार ऑन 4th. ओके. सी यू. बाय बाय.